For the last 30 plus years, man, I have been a true fan of the Detroit Lions, the good and the bad. I've never truly walked away from the team. I've come close a lot of times, as specifically during the Matt Patricia era. I almost walked away from this team. Like, until he was fired, I would have ceased my support in any fashion because I just did not agree with the firing of Jim Caldwell in the first place. Now, I believe everything happens the way it's supposed to. Jim Caldwell led to Matt Patricia, who led to Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. I was the guy that if Bob Quinn was retained and Matt Patricia was fired, I would have stopped supporting the team until he was fired because Bob Quinn brought in Matt Patricia. And Matt Patricia was somebody who this organization had no business coaching an NFL team. And I was upset that they ruined the franchise. I knew at the time that Matt Patricia was going to set this team back 6 years. You were going to have his coaching years of 3 years, which he almost made it, and then the 3 of us going to take the recover. And if you look at it, the Detroit Lions, that's exactly what happened. In year 6 of when Matt Patricia was hired, we wind up making it to the NFC Championship game. Long 6 years. And I'm sure it's many fans that have been through a lot more than I have. And as a person who grew up in Detroit, who's lived in Detroit, who had to suffer the blackouts. Because see, if you're out of state, you don't even know what a blackout is. If you're out of state Detroit Lions fan, you don't know what it's like to go through a blackout. A blackout was, the NFL abolished it many, many years ago, probably over 10 years ago now. And that was if the home team did not sell enough tickets to that game, they would block it out for local viewers. So you had to be, I think it was like a 75-mile radius or something like that. I believe if you were somewhere in Ohio or maybe it was a little further, 150 miles, whatever it was, it would be blacked out. And what a lot of businesses would do is they would buy up the remaining tickets. They would give them away to schools and stuff like that. And in order for us locals to see the game, we're talking about on 16. We're talking about those days. Now, let me just be clear. I was protesting the Lions is what I was doing. That's how I am. If I don't agree with something, to me, the product they were putting on the field was not worth any of my time, any of my money. My wife, when we first got married, we got married in 2016. She's buying me a bunch of Lions gear, mugs. Every day it was like a new mug, man. Bought me a mug. I was like, stop buying Lions stuff. Because I refused. And a lot of us felt similar. We remember to sell the team, folks. Now, I never went that far, but sell the team. And I just felt back then that they were taking advantage of us. They were taking our money and the product that they were putting on the field after years and years and years of frustration was just not worth support. And that's what I chose to do. If you chose to remain a season ticket holder, that's fine. If you just think not too long ago, we were booing Sheila Ford, Sheila Hemp, it's crazy. So what is the point? The point is, while that I was never going to cease my fandom, I was not going to give them any of my money, any of my time, because they didn't care about me in return. The product, that's what it seemed like. All right. Now fast forward to, I never forget, as a matter of fact, this channel exists because Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn were fired. Had they not been fired, this channel would have probably never been a thing. So I guess I can thank Matt Patricia for that and the eventual hiring of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, who I believe, Dan Campbell, I believe these two guys are capable of taking us all the way. For Dan, we know what we have to deal with him. And Brad, we know what we got to deal with him. And if they both get it together and they both do right, I think that they can take us all the way. With that being said, you guys know that I have got on the wait list back in November to be a season ticket holder, which I would have never fathomed doing before, ever. I never wanted to be a season ticket holder. I've lived within 20 miles of Ford Field my entire life, 30 miles of the Pontiac Silverdome. All local Detroit sports are, I take them for granted. I really did, because they've always been within a stone's throw of me. I feel bad for you guys who got to come from out of town, and it's an experience for you. Like, for me, it's rolling out of bed. It's always been like that. And never wanted any part until recently. And they didn't deserve it. I wasn't going to give them my money. That's just what kind of fan I was. You got to give me something in return. You got to at least try. Maybe you guys understand me a little bit more after you hear this. You got to at least try. Try to show me you want to do more. Try to show me you're trying to win and not just throwing any product out there. So got on a season ticket waiting list in November. Now, if you guys didn't know, I believe it was probably upwards of 20,000 people on the wait list. A lot of the people that I talked to actually got on the wait list right or signed up for season tickets before there was a wait list, before they took off and they got in no problem. And then everybody wants to be part of the experience, myself included. And now 20,000 plus. I believe it's up to 25,000 now. It could be 30 because this was back in November, 30 or more. So why am I making this video? Because got on the waiting list back in November. It is now March. So we are talking about almost at the 4-month mark. So it'll be 3 months and 3 weeks since I got on the wait list and I had signed up for 2 tickets until I get my chance maybe to pick my seats. All right, check this out. This is coming from my Twitter account, aka Lions Syndicate. I almost spoke in third person. Says, as we gear up for the 2025 season, we're excited to share the details of your upcoming opportunity to be a part of this year's Lions Loyal member seat selection program. Through our virtual portal, your seat selection time, you will be able to view options and choose your seats for the 2025 season. Below, you will find details regarding the seat selection process. You've been assigned a date and time based on when you initially joined the waitlist. My time is, the start time is next Friday, so the 14th of March at 10:10 a.m. And then there's a link below that to Ticketmaster that will allow me to, go in. Now, it's exciting. I couldn't believe it. I was having dinner with my wife and I get an email and I see Detroit Lions season tickets and I made the straight Shack face. I was like, I did the straight Shack spicy wings, hot ones challenge. I made that face and I'm like, oh my goodness, because I did not expect. I had heard people say that they've been on the list. They got on the list in January of a year, and then they were called in August. And I knew it was a chance, but I didn't know if it was a reality. So that's the good news. The good news is I'm in line. I still got to go through. I'm assuming it's not any ticket portals on the weekend, but I could be wrong. I've got to get through today, which is Thursday, the 6th. I've got to get through Friday the 7th. I've got to get to basically until the 14th of March. If there are seats available, I signed up for 2, then I will be able to become a season ticket holder, which is insane. Never thought that I would, but I got to say this, that I would be able to get there this year. I got to say, I got to shout out everybody who watches this channel, who has invited me to the game. I want to say thank you because you're part of the reason that I wanted to do this. Without you guys, I don't get to experience it like that. Some of you guys charge, which is no problem. Some of you guys didn't charge, which is great. I did offer to everyone, so I don't want anybody to think I am not a freeloader, man. I believe in paying my dues. So I am this close. Now, they did tell me that this email does not ensure that the tickets will be available or that I will become a season ticket holder this year. I don't know if there's any other perks involved with being on the wait list. As a matter of fact, yes, there are. I believe there are because I might have received, I think I received an email about playoff tickets, but I didn't have the money at the time. But it was like first dibs on playoff tickets, like after season ticket holders, then us. Like well, peasants, I'm on the wait list, right? Us, like I'm doing something. But I think there was and they had given you they were like, okay, but I didn't know you had to buy them all. Like you had to secure them all or something like that. So Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy, kind of exciting, kind of frightening at the same time because I've never really made a commitment like this, for this type of thing. And even when I started this channel, I didn't think I thought I was gonna, I'm gonna stream the games. And I was kind of torn because I felt like I was a bridge gap between the people who couldn't get to the game and the people, in the game. So for me doing my watch parties, they were a way for me to bring the game to you if you were out of state or out of town or something like that. And I felt conflicted. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I didn't really have the money like that. You know what I mean? I didn't know about it. And I'm hearing all these different things about payment plans and all this other, but thank you for Twitter, because Twitter kind of saved me. And you guys have told me about it before, but I guess I have a hard time remembering. But it's so confusing because you'll hear one thing from one person, then you'll hear another thing from somebody else, and maybe people have different experiences based on seniority. I have no idea, but yeah, it kind of was a thing that I was just like, man, I want to be here, and it was just, I think for me, it was really the first playoff game. That was when it was like, wow, this is something I want to be a part of. And as I'm sitting there, a guest. I mean, I even had people giving me, I was able to take my sister-in-law to a preseason game this past season because a subscriber couldn't make it, said I wanted, I mean, you have no idea how many people reach out to me via Twitter, DMs, emails like, yo, I can't make it. If you want the tickets, they're yours. I mean, even got a VIP seating at training camp, which was amazing, by the way. I mean, it was free food. It was drinks. The shade was crazy. Like it was like a DJ in there. It was crazy. I was like, ooh. And then the badge, it was crazy, man. It was, so I'm like, yo, because of that, I'm sitting there for the playoff game and I'm saying to myself, I'm looking around and I'm seeing the family atmosphere. Like, and then my record at the games was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it started to add up now. Now it seems like big games I go to, we lose, right? So I don't know, man. I gotta reconsider how many games I go to, but we shall see. So from what I understand, if there are tickets available on Friday the 14th at whenever I get to select, then I will be a season ticket holder this season, which is crazy. So that means that, and even I haven't thought about the channel because things will change. So the watch parties will probably be less. Obviously we still have the road games that I can't make it, but the watch parties will be less. The post game show will be late all the time. You know what I mean? So instead of 15 minutes after the game, like it'll be over by the time I get home, which is, it's something that I knew I wanted to be a fan driven channel, but I also wanted some structure. And the fan just shines, man. The fan just comes out because I could sit at home. Like I said, I lose money when I go to the games. I lose. But what I've seen from you guys is you will wait, which is awesome. You will wait till I get home. You will wait to, and what I've seen from you and from this fan base and from the people that invited me to the game is you don't care. You don't care what time we get on. You appreciate the fact that I'm there, which is kind of a big deal. You're like, you know what, Derek, we can't go, but you're there. We feel like we're there. And that was the point. It wasn't about sitting in front of my computer. It wasn't about making money from streaming games. It wasn't about any of that stuff. This is what it's always been. But that's the reason I was doing the watch parties in the first place. So long video, gonna flop. I don't care. I wanted to let you guys know that I am this close to being a season ticket holder. And also, it was another thing that got me too. Okay, here it is. So shout out to my guy, man, Nate. Took me to the Rams game. He was the reason I got to get to the opening game of the season. This is what really, it was the playoff game, but this was so awesome. So Nate this is right before the 2024 season started. Lions had a loyal season ticket holder kind of function where you came in and you got a Brad Holmes bobblehead, and I think that was the only time the bobblehead was available. You got a couple of the things, but I was able to get one, and I was able to get this coin as well. And shout out to my guy Brian and everybody else, man. You guys know who you are. I can't name everybody. JBL, my guy John Ellison, all you guys. Cole, anybody who invited me to a game. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Shout out to Get Back Joe and his wife, who scared the absolute life out of me at the stadium. I don't know if I told you that, but his wife, they were working, and his wife comes up and she's like, Derek, and she's got on the Ford field gear, and I instantly thought I was in trouble. I was just like, oh my God, what? I thought I was going to security or something, man. And she was like, my husband is Get Back Joe. And I'm like, oh my God, and I never got to see him, but it was so cool. But I was able to get this here, this commemorative coin from going with Nate. So he got something for me, and it was like a Brad Holmes bobblehead, things like that. And I'm like, you know what? I want to get this stuff myself. So let me sign up. Really cool, right? So I will definitely keep you guys posted. We will know next Friday but there's also a chance that they could run out before that. And I'm assuming it'll be pressed or pushed to 2026, which will be okay because it's a lot of games I want to go to this season. Arrowhead, got to go there. We play Stafford in LA. We play the Washington Commanders in Washington. We play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. So there's a ton we play the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. So there's a ton of games. I won't be mad if I can't go, but I'm sure if I can't make it, if I came this close now, I'm sure I could get in for next year. So anyway, long video. Sorry about that, but this channel is about the fan, man. It ain't about the money. It ain't about corporate. It ain't about none of that stuff. We are a fan-driven brand. I am a fan above anything else. All right. So let me know, man. I'm excited. Are you excited? Yeah, I'm also not excited to see that bill either. But this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do, including become a season ticket holder. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. And anybody that took me to the game, man, and you might be saying, well, Derek, what are you going to do with that other ticket? Stay tuned to find out, man. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, put a different hashtag so that way nobody copies you. So if you watch to this point, put a different hashtag, whatever you want to put, in the comment section. Appreciate y'all, man.